But just an amazing atmosphere here. You can hear the crowd screaming for their favourite, the Little Master.
Over now, and we obviously formed a huddle and all that. We congratulated each other and all that, and I think at that time I told one of the players कि ये stump तो मेरे को चाहिए बस. So I took that stump, and while congratulating the players and all that, I slowly felt that I got emotional. Then the team had decided to give me a special send-off. So it was again the March of Honor, but this time they kept running. So by then, I was properly crying. And I didn't want to make a big drama out of that. So I looked down and I quickly, shook hands and all that, and I just rushed up to the dressing room and I went straight to the bathroom. And I said, enough, that's it. You can't be crying more than this. You've done enough. And then I came back and I just sat for a while alone. Everyone gave me space. I remember looking at my kit bag and all that and just thanking my kit bag for looking after me for so many years. After some time there was a message that, Brian Lara and the West Indian team is waiting for you. They want to say thank you to you, and, there is something that Brian Lara has arranged for you. So please come down. Basically it was my 200th match, but also Chandrapal's 150th match. So a great achievement. So he congratulated both of us and all that. Then I spoke a little bit about West Indian style cricket. Anjali said that you stand in front of the bus next to the driver so everyone can see you and you can say bye to everyone. I think you should do that. So I did that. I went to the room, all that. By then it was almost 3 o'clock, close to 3, and I had not eaten at all. After breakfast I had not eaten at all. The hotel had organized Halim for me. I love Halim. So I said, please send it to my room. And then we ate all that, and while doing all that, I got a call from the PM, and from his office first, and then the PM spoke to me and then told me that I'm a Bharat Ratna now. So that is when I stopped Anjali. I said, you need to stop eating. There is something that I want to tell you. So we stopped eating and we went and we stood in front of all the gods that I have in the room. And I said, now you are looking at a Bharat Ratna.
Oh, magnificent. One from the front foot, one from the back foot. It's a clinic. It is a batting clinic.
We never saw Bradman live, of course, Rigger, but you can take it from Bradman's word that this man was the closest Bradman saw in someone that reminded him of himself.
Sachin Tendulkar has popped Canning out of Kingsmead. It's in the car park. What a shot. And that one was carved away through the Dicey with a little run fairly quickly to the boundary. Tendulkar going to say very positive against the new ball, and I like that tactic. He just stands and delivers. That one just a tick over, and it's gone past him at about 180 clicks.
Yes, I haven't seen the ball being hit so hard back.
It's better. He's called that one just more square away. It's a much better shot. More control.
2003 match, 2003 World Cup match, Sri Lanka match. Before that match, we had played Pakistan before that, and this was after that. And because I had cramped so much in that match, Pakistan match, it took me a couple of days to recover from that. So I was making sure that, you know, I drink those energy drinks and all sorts of salts, multivitamins, this and that. I continued doing that, and before this match, Sri Lanka match, I had too much salt. I had loose motions, and I could not control my emotion. So I've actually batted with tissue paper.
Well, this little man is the nearest thing to Bradman there's ever been. What a player he is. Oh, he's hit this one, Miles. Great shot. Oh, it's a biggie. Straight over the top. The little man has hit the big fella for six. He's off his sides. And he's smashed him down the ground. What a player. What a wonderful player. I think he's decided now that he's going to finish this off quickly.
Second innings, day and a half to go, and we lost 4 wickets, 4 early wickets, 38 for 4. I went into bat, I was batting on 1 or 2, and I got hit off Wakar on my nose, bouncer. And my brother was sitting right in front of the dressing room, and I remember my brother telling me that later on, that, you know, I was sitting there and I could actually hear the ball hitting your nose there in the stands. It was quite a fair impact it was. When I got hit, I saw blood. Javed Miaz was the only one in that big group said, "अरे तेरा तो नाक टूट गया, तो बिल्कुल ही hospital जाना पड़ेगा," and this and that. He said, and and I was like, I was least bothered what he was telling me. And our doctor Vishwas Raut then came, and he carried ice and all that. So I applied ice and all that, white blood. And he said, "Do you want to go in? Let's go in, because can you see now?" I said, "My vision is slightly blurred, but I think it should be fine. I'll just take time here only." There was a shadow on the side screen, and in that I missed the ball. I missed the release, and off the wicket when I saw, I thought the ball would come almost to chin height. So I committed myself to play, and then I realized that the ball is not there, it's almost there. So he got maybe 6 inches of extra bounce, but it was at that height where I could not then go down, and I had to almost duck into it. There were in that entire match, there were only 2 players who batted without the visor. I hit, after that, 2 consecutive boundaries I hit him. Bowled in the stumps, next ball, which I flicked for a boundary, and then he bowled just outside off stump short of limb ball, which I punched and ran 4 runs. I remember the first day going to Achrika sir's net, and my brother took me, Ajit. We went by bus and got off at Shivaji Park bus stop. We walked all the way to his nets, and my brother had fixed up with him that I would. He had found out the summer camps, and that's how my cricket started. To join summer camps and see how I progress in those 2 months, and it was only that much. I mean, only summer camps, nothing more than that. We hadn't planned a bigger step after that. But the first day I batted in the nets, my sir told my brother that I feel it's too early for him. I was 11. Yeah, I was 11. So I said, I feel it's too early for him. He's not ready yet. You bring him maybe six months later, or maybe a year later, and we will have a look. He needs to improve a little bit. So my brother having seen me earlier for number of months, he watched me playing with my friends downstairs with tennis ball, and I was one of the top batters over there. So and he had spotted that in me, so he felt that I was not batting my normal game, and that was one of the reasons was Achrika sir was standing behind the nets and he was watching me, and I was under pressure, and this was the first time that I was taken to a different environment completely, out of our building grounds, and just there I would play freely and all that. But this was the first time I had actually gone for a selection, and I was not myself. So my brother requested, sir, if you can give him just half an hour's break, and then you ask him to bat and you go somewhere else, and let him see you that you are leaving, and then you watch from wherever you want, as long as he cannot see you. And he did that. Actually, he agreed to do that, and I did that, and I batted well because he wasn't around, whatever, and I batted well, and he immediately said, yes, he's looking different now completely. He can join the camp. My brother went and he said, just wait, let me go and speak to the coach and come back. But he didn't tell me at that stage that he had said no first and then spoke to him and all that. So just at the end of our trials, he told me that yes, sir has asked you to join a summer camp. So I was really excited. I only had one pair of cricket outfit. So I would practice in the morning, come back home. We would wash that set, put it to dry, because it was month of April and May. It would dry, but the pockets invariably wouldn't dry. So whenever I went into practice, always had wet pockets. In the night again, come back from practice, wash the clothes and dry them. But night obviously you got more number of hours, but no bright sunlight, and the clothes wouldn't dry. So invariably for those month and a half, I practice with wet pockets invariably. So I did that, and I remember I used to be with my grandmother at that time, because my mother and father would be out on work, office work. So it was I spent some time with my grandmother in the afternoons in Bandra. And then towards the end of that camp, my sir started taking a lot of interest in my batting. And after 2 months, he called my brother and he said, "See, I feel he can become a good cricketer, but his school doesn't play cricket. He has to change his school if he wants to play cricket and take this up seriously." So I was asked at that stage, "What do you want to do? Do you want to play cricket, or let it be only from one summer camp to another summer camp and you don't do anything in between?" So I wanted to play cricket because I started enjoying, I started loving every session. I used to look forward to every session. This was before we played the third test match at Headingley. A friend of mine had told me that there's this amazing seafood restaurant called Harry Ramsden, and said let's go and have fish there. They serve some amazing fish. So Ajit Agarkar was also there, and then there was on the menu there was one particular dish which was called Harry's Challenge. So the chef challenged you to finish that dish. It was a large portion, and I was able to finish that. I decided that I'm going to take him on, and I finished that, and I actually got a certificate for that, because if you are able to finish, then Harry Ramsden, the head chef, would come out and sign a certificate for you. So he had to do that for me. I mean, it was a full fish, but unbelievably big. I mean, I had not seen such a large portion, and obviously it came with chips and all that, which I left aside. I only had salad, but the fish was unbelievably large. Maybe Harry Ramsden didn't know that early on, 94, 95, 96, that period, I've gone out with Anjali to a restaurant and I've actually ordered 2 main courses for myself. I would always say that no, I don't think I will be full with just one main course, and then I don't want to wait for 20 minutes again for the other dish to come. Headingley test match, for the first time I wore inner thigh guard. I had not tried inner thigh guard also in my practice sessions, never ever. And yes, the ball was seaming around a bit and all that, and the kind of bowlers they had, especially Flintoff, who like to bring the ball back in on that seaming track. I knew that odd ball was going to jack back much more than the batsman would expect, and that is when you're going to get hit on your inner thigh. I wanted to wear that, and without trying out, even in practice sessions, I had worn, and I walked out, and suddenly I realized that my stance had completely changed. First ball, while facing my bottom hand, normally I like to rest my bottom hand, right forearm on my right thigh, and it sits at a particular angle where I was not able to do that. Mumbai was to play Australia, and we sort of had a strategy against Vaughan. I told the openers that in the first 2 overs I want minimum 4 or 5 boundaries. I said, you do whatever you want. You play reverse sweep, you play lofted cover drive, you slog sweep, you do whatever you want. I want minimum 4 or 5 boundaries. If we lose 2 wickets, I don't care, but I want those boundaries in the first 2 overs. You are to go after him, doesn't matter what shot you do. And it happened. Our batters started going after him. I went into bat. I got a double hundred on the on day 1 itself. I remember speaking to a couple of friends after that, and also the players. I said, he's done everything, but he's not bowled a single ball round a wicket to me. And I know, I said, and that is what I need to work on, because I know when I'm batting well, he's going to go round the wicket and try and change the momentum there. So if I can be a step ahead of him on this, that's going to help, because he bowled every possible ball. He also bowled a bouncer in that match, sort of proper bouncer he tried. And I was expecting him to go round the wicket in Chennai some stage. And the first innings I was very confident, really batting well. And first innings I got out on 4 and slipped. Mark Taylor got. First boundary which I played off Vaughan it was a mere push at mid-off, and I timed the ball well. It went for a boundary, and the next one I tried to hit him over extra cover. Ball spun a little more and he got some bounce, and Mark Taylor took a brilliant catch and slip. And we were having dinner at somebody's place in Chennai, and Venkatraghavan was also there. So Venkatraghavan was the umpire, if I'm not mistaken, possibly one of the umpires, and he said the wicket is tough. Before the second inning started, I said in the dressing room, if someone can get 70-80 crucial runs in the second innings, that is going to really help us, because the wicket is going to turn, and if they have to chase 200 or whatever, it's not going to be easy for them. There's going to be a lot of pressure. And we had a brilliant partnership with Sidhu, Azhar. Azhar was also there. And that was an important innings, because when he went round the wicket to me, I attacked him quite a bit. And that match I felt had a huge impact. That innings, my innings had a huge impact on the Australian side, where I could see that they were pushed on the back foot. I got out early first match in Kochi, and I picked up 5 wickets. To Steve Waugh, because till then I was bowling off spin, and when to left-handers, and I just had this feeling that left-hander, I think it was Darren Lehman. Darren Lehman was stepping out quite a bit. And I had this feeling that he was going to step out, so I told Nayan to be ready. I said, if he steps out, I'm going to go down the leg. And it actually happened like that. He stepped out and I bowled down the leg. He was stumped. And to Steve Waugh again, I had this feeling that he was never comfortable against me. He always sort of was a bit vulnerable, I felt. And I smelled that. Every time I bowled to him, I smelled that. So I was bowling off spin, and I went and instead of off spin, I just went there and I just rolled my wrist the other direction. And he tried to play on drive and not cotton ball. So I had foxed him. I knew that I foxed him big time. In fact, I wasn't bowling leg spin at all in that match. I started off, because they're left-handers, I started off bowling off spin. And they were cruising. All they needed was, they just had to be there 50 overs, that's it. And they were winning that game. So I tried out various things. With left-handers, I stuck to off spin. And then when right-handers came into play, I shifted to leg spin, and then that day the ball was really coming out well out of my hand. And I've always tried to turn the ball. I always liked giving that rip. The only thing was because I didn't bowl much in the nets, my skin used to always come off from there, and then after that I couldn't grip the ball. If I bowled leg spin, then it would be for just a short spell, and after that my skin would start peeling from it. A blister would form there, and then it would just come off, and then I found difficult to grip the ball. Sandstorm match went into bat, and we sort of looking to build a solid foundation. I was batting well, so it was about playing a long innings. I knew if I stayed there till the 45th over, 40 plus overs, and then we would be in good position. And that was the idea, but we lost few wickets. Though there were some partnerships, we lost few wickets. Just when the sandstorm started, I mean, I'd never experienced anything like that, and I got scared. I thought, what if I get blown away in that way? It was quite something to watch. So I was standing next to Gilchrist, so I said, the thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold him. So with that weight, at least I might survive. In that break, I remember Anshuman Gaikwad was there, our coach, and other guys were in the dressing room, and I didn't say much. I was in that zone, and I was very much focused on winning the game. So we lost, I think, certain number of overs, but not many runs were deducted. I told Anshuman Gaikwad that we are going to do it. And then I went out and I started hitting the ball, and it was very sweet. I felt whatever I was planning or I was expecting the bowler to do, he was exactly doing that. So I felt that I was reading the mind so well that I knew that when the bowler was intending to bowl short, I just knew, and I was already there in position to hit. When the bowler was looking to bowl good length, I had already stepped out. A fast bowler already stepped out. I was running well between the wickets. In fact, at one stage I got angry with Lakshman also, where I felt there were 2 runs and Lakshman sent me back. I got angry. I said, you do as I say, don't worry about my end, you take care of your end. I said, we cannot be missing runs here, every run is going to be important. And Lakshman was rotating the strike well. I felt it was perfect, and in that form I felt that I should be taking as much strike as possible. And when the ball went to deep square leg or fine leg, I was really pushing hard, and at times I was able to convert those singles into twos. But sometimes in Sharjah the surface is hard and bare, so you tend to slip quite a bit. You don't get enough grip while turning for a second run, so that was a little tough, but I was fortunately able to do that. And then when one is batting well, then you want to retain strike, because it was a battle between the two. When I was batting, obviously Vaughan was pulling. It was the battle between me and Vaughan, though both the teams were involved, but it was a lot to do with mental battle. So I didn't want that to go away. I didn't want that to go away by, or calm down by, giving a strike to the non-striker. I wanted to retain strike, and I wanted to be on top of it all the time. Because something that they were also trying very hard to do is to keep the strike away from me, which was evident, and I felt that if I can continue taking as much strike, we are getting closer and closer to the target. He came round the wicket and I hit him straight, and I think possibly one of the better shots that I've played in that match was I stepped out to, I think, Tom Moody or Steve Vaughan, and he tried to york me, and I just got under the ball and lifted it over the bowler's head. With long on long off, I hit a boundary, and I felt that was one of the better shots that I've played in that tournament. Got a bad decision. I thought it was a bouncer of Fleming, which was over the shoulder high, and I tried to pull, and to me I felt it was clearly above the shoulder. I don't know how the umpires couldn't see that. I got back from Australia, and basically spending time with my friends in the evenings and all that, playing with tennis ball, cricket and all that with them. I remember one evening I was playing with my friends downstairs, and from the 4th floor balcony my brother shouted saying that, guess what, a call from Yorkshire has come, and they want you to play county cricket this season for them. It's urgent, come up quickly. So I left everything and I just rushed upstairs, and we started discussing about it. So he said, are you prepared to go there on your own and play? And I was ready to go and play, because I thought it was at the right time for me, and within minutes the decision was made that I'll play. We didn't discuss my contract fees or nothing at all, absolutely nothing. I just said, yes, I'm going. I want to play cricket, and I'm going there to play cricket. It doesn't matter whatever it is. I will just sign the contract and let's move ahead. I want to play cricket. So once it was conveyed to them, I think CEO at that time, Chris Hassel, he had come to Mumbai, and that time I was playing an exhibition game in Thane. That is where we actually signed a contract, and I joined them towards the end of April, I think 29th or 30th I left, and it was wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed my county season. It was different sort of experience, and we had to, I was driving at that time, so I had to read the map sometimes and find my own way. Most of the times I would follow Richard Blakey, and then I on couple of occasions I've actually missed him as well, so I'm actually trying to find my way and all that. It wasn't that easy, and then I didn't know England at that time so well, and then I remember I was asked to play an exhibition game, India versus Pakistan, in London. So I thought, wonderful. I mean, I'll get to see all the players after a long time. So I was in Yorkshire, so I said, okay, fine. When is the game? So they said, in 3-4 days or whatever. I mean, the game is in the evening. It's an evening match. Starts at 6 o'clock. So I said, it's fine. And I didn't realize that before that I had already committed to another festival match in Newcastle, and I didn't know the map. I mean, I thought, oh, okay, fine. For how long it would be? Maybe maximum an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, whatever. And I'll manage it. The game got over at 12 o'clock in the night in London. And for that game, I started at 1 o'clock from Yorkshire in the afternoon. Reached the ground, played the game at 12, and around that time, somebody told me, "What's your plan of action?" I said, "No, I'm going to Newcastle now, and I have a match tomorrow." So I said, "Have you gone mad?" I said, "Do you know what you're going to go through right now? Newcastle, it is miles away. You're not going to reach Newcastle before 7:30, 8 o'clock morning." And that's when I realized, oh my God, I mean, how am I going to manage this? And at that time, Jatin Paranspe was with me. So we both, as soon as the game got over, we rushed. We said, "Oh, you better leave." So we started driving, and in that again, I missed one turn, and I suddenly realized that instead of north, we are heading south. So we drove like that for good half an hour, 45 minutes, and we realized in the night that we are heading in the wrong direction. And said, did you see the signs? And we both had somehow missed. We both thought we were heading in the right direction, and and at night, after having driven for a while, I mean, I was sleepy, and I remember putting my window down and sticking my head out and then telling myself, wake up, you can't sleep, because I had already played a match. So then I told Jatin, why don't you drive for some time? I don't think it's the right thing to do right now, to drive when I'm falling asleep. And he said, okay, fine, I'll drive. So we stopped for a while in Hard Shoulder, and Jatin said, okay, fine, I'm going to drive for some time. So Jatin drove for a while, and in the meanwhile I sort of dozed off a bit, and I woke up. I said, okay, fine, now let me get back, I'll drive. So I drove, and in the morning I remember we were reaching the hotel at 8ish in the morning, 8:15, and at that time the whole team, I was playing for World 11. It was I think World 11 versus England, and all the players were getting on the coach and saying that, okay, fine, we'll see you there shortly, and all that. So I don't remember who the manager of the team was at that time, but I took him aside and I told him that I'm coming from London, I've driven the whole night, I've not rested, and right now I'm so sleepy. Let me just relax for 25 minutes and then I'll see you at the ground. So I said, yeah, fine, you do that. So I went to the room, set an alarm. Within half an hour, we woke up and we left. You won't believe, after I woke up, I didn't know where I was. It was that bad. So I got to the ground, still sleepy. We won the toss, we batted, and I got a brilliant 100. I scored a 100. Really, I really batted well, and I scored 100. Lunchtime, I was again gone, and I came back, and all that was finally catching up. So I had lunch and I was sort of feeling half asleep, and by then it was time to go out and field. So actually, for the first time in my life, in between the overs, like I was having a mini nap of 10 seconds. I mean, I was actually falling asleep on the field while fielding. So I somehow got through that game, and I got back to the hotel, and we both were so tired. We went off to sleep at 6:30, 7 o'clock. By the time we got to the hotel, it was 7ish. So I said we'll sleep for a couple of hours, and we will I'll sleep for a couple of hours and then have dinner and then again sleep because we are really tired. I did that. We slept. We woke up. We both woke up at I think 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. No food at all. First thing we did, looked at the watch. I said, oh no, I think we've missed dinner.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Fabulous. Could not have been a better end. Thank you very, very much, everybody, all of you. Each of you mean a lot because you guys are as much part of this story. We make this sport in India what it is. We celebrate, we win, we lose, we cry.